So, 3, 2, 1, and Captain, how are you?
Welcome back. I've been doing better, but we're back from Montauk, and 2020 is still undefeated, and the current events keep on rolling in.
They do.
Doom Nation, thank you for joining us again. Before we get the show started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. The subscribe button should be at the bottom. I think we discovered that last week.
It's bottom right, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at the bottom of the page, make sure you subscribe first, and let's get the show on the road. Today,
we have a lot of shit to talk about. While we were gone in Montauk, a lot of crazy shit happened. A lot of stupid shit happened. But let's start with you.
Stupid shit.
Yeah, let's start with you, though. What the fuck happened to your hand exactly? If you want to show the our fans here, Captain Cripple.
2020, you rock.
You could stick that thing up your ass, I guess.
Well, that's where it started. No. And the best part is, like, I got this wrapped up today, and it's Labor Day weekend, so happy Labor Day, everybody.
Yes, happy
Enjoy
Labor Day.
your long weekend. So they were like, yeah, no pools, no beach. And I was like, I guess I can't golf either. And then I was like, I could sit home and play video games. Nope, it was bleeding last night when I was done playing. So, like, I literally can't do anything. Yep. So last week in Montauk, actually, when we were away, I had an ingrown nail, and I pulled it out. And
you just yanked it right the fuck out of your hand.
Manly man, yeah. Right. Just it
Paul
hurt.
Bunyan style.
It hurt, and I pulled it out, and it was bleeding. So I wrapped it up. I cleaned it, and I wrapped it up. Got home from Montauk, kept cleaning it, kept wrapping it. It didn't stop bleeding until about yesterday, and then this morning.
So you were bleeding for like a week straight.
It wasn't like constant blood, but like I went through a lot of like bandages throughout the week. And I thought it would just heal and heal. So finally I went to the doctor today, and she looked at it, and she's like, you did a fantastic job. I ended up ripping tissue from underneath the nail. So not just a hangnail, but underneath the nail. And I did this with my own hands, and it didn't hurt nearly as much as what it hurts like the past couple of days.
You did this when we were in Montauk?
Yeah.
Or I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. I just wrapped it up, and I put a Band-Aid on it, and that was it. My thumb was fine all weekend. And
we've had some injuries in Montauk, man. You've ripped your fucking finger off. Our buddy Greg has fallen down the step, cracked 2 ribs, and powered through it. So, Montauk is a special place.
The doc almost split his head open on that fence.
Yes, that's true. A lot of injuries out there. It's Montauk's a full contact sport.
Yeah, it is. So the doctor was pretty impressed. So tomorrow I start antibiotics, and I got to baby it for a week now.
All right.
So this is now a 2-week ordeal for a hangnail that was about that big.
Nothing surprises me about the situation, especially when it comes to you, buddy.
Nope. Thank you, Montauk.
Cheers.
Cheers, good buddy.
So what do you want to... which one of these current event topics that's been going on lately do you want to start with? I'll let you spin the wheel, and you could choose, buddy.
Honestly, I'm going to start with what I've been most prepared for, because actually, you know what? I got a new one that I would like to bring up, and it was such a weird video. It just surfaced. It's the Donald Trump hot mic moment where he's
the
like,
one this morning?
Yeah, sell it on eBay, you'll make $10,000. And I'm like, it's not that bad, and it's take Donald Trump president out of it and go back to Donald Trump businessman. That's what he did. He told people how to make money.
Let's give some clarification exactly what the captain's talking about. There was a video we saw this morning, and it was of Trump. He was at some sort of firehouse or something, talking to first responders, and he was signing autographs for first responders. And it was pretty funny because he was signing the autographs and throwing it over to people. And he's like, here, sell this on eBay. You get $10,000. Sell it on eBay. You get $10,000. One guy was like, can you write my name? He's like, I'm not going to write your name. It'll devalue it. He's like, trust me, sell it on eBay. You'll get $10,000.
And so people right away are obviously like demonizing this video.
For what?
Yeah, thank you. He's not like that's who Donald Trump is at his core, a money-making machine. Like, he's giving you like advice on how to make money. This is worth $10,000. You are better off having $10,000 cash than having my signature on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I see. I had no problem with it, as a person who's critical of Trump sometimes. First of all, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Second of all,
hysterical.
It was a hot mic moment, right? So he didn't know he was on a mic. Second of all, he's with like firefighters, first responders. He's giving them an idea that can make them some extra money. What is so bad about that? He's like giving them an excuse to make money in a way.
Here's a $10,000 check.
He's doing them a favor almost. Like, something that doesn't cost anyone any money.
Yeah.
Maybe like one of his crazy super fans would want to pay $10,000 to get that autograph on eBay, and he knows that. Yeah. So he's trying to help these guys out. It's really not a big deal. There's a lot more crazy shit in the world that we could worry about or criticize.
Way more heinous things out there going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that if you guys look it up, we'll post a link to it so you guys could check out the video. It was just very comical because he signed like 15 autographs, and every time he's like $10,000 tonight, $10,000 on eBay. Do it, $10,000.
Yeah,
it's funny. So, but anyway, what I was gonna start off with before that popped into my head was hypocrisy.
Yes,
and you know what? It's harder to find a Republican who is going down for hypocrisy right now. They are out there, but like it's just Democrats across the board almost.
You want to get specific? Because I got somebody.
If you have a Republican,
no. Okay. I want to get into. We already posted a lot about this in the week leading up to this episode. Obviously, what happened with Nancy Pelosi. Yep. If anybody's not aware, Nancy Pelosi, she is the Speaker of the House, but she also represents San Francisco. That's like her district. And in her district, San Francisco, barbershops, salons, all those types of things are still closed due to coronavirus restrictions. Mm-hmm. Nancy Pelosi last week, I believe it was, called up the salon that she would always go to and made an appointment to get her hair done. I think it was like cut and wash or something. I know a lot about this fucking stupid topic. And, even though the salon was closed, she got to go there and get her hair done.
Mm-hmm.
Privately. If we don't live in San Francisco, right? But if I did happen to live in San Francisco and I called up a barbershop, they're not going to let me in because by law, they're not allowed to help any customers on the premise right now.
Right.
So this became a whole big controversy.
And it should.
In the media, and I'll give the media credit for once. They covered it. They did try to cover up for her, but most of the time when something like this happens, they just shoot it off and don't pay it any attention. But man, they hammered on this one.
Well, I think they were hammering on it to try and spin it, and everybody, it was already bought before they could spin it. This was the beautiful thing about it. So, we're talking about how everybody's a big hypocrite. Nancy Pelosi is one of the biggest advocates for why businesses still need to be closed down. One of the biggest advocates for why schools shouldn't be opening. She's all pro lockdown, would happily vote for another lockdown again. But meanwhile, like her COVID bill like includes like crazy other like shit that shit for like the Green New Deal or whatever.
Things that don't have anything had nothing to do with coronavirus.
Yeah. And she's up there all the time saying Trump's wrong. We have to listen to the science. We have to listen to the CDC. We have to listen to Fauci and who. And even bigger hypocrites, Fauci, the last time you really saw him, he said we could vote in person. Up, went against the narrative, gone. More hypocrites, fucking the CDC changed. That's something we need to talk about later. Okay. The CDC updated their list.
Yes.
And apparently like only 6% of Americans died of actual COVID. Everyone else had underlying issues. Oh, we can't listen to the CDC anymore. These are the people who have spent months saying, listen to the CDC, now saying, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. And Nancy's one of them. Mm-hmm. So here is a perfect example of do as I say, not as I do. And that doesn't fly. You're the Speaker of the House. You can't.
You can't do that, right? The same thing went for Fauci when he got caught not wearing a mask at the Nationals game. Yeah. We got into a little tiff with Javi from the Three Pendejos about this. And he was really defending. It was odd, but he was kind of defending Nancy.
Oh,
I just don't understand how that could be defensible. Take politics aside. Obviously, me and this guy over here do not like Nancy Pelosi whatsoever. There's a litany of fucking reasons as to why. But take the politics aside. Take who she is aside. If it was any other random person, and I was the person that made the rules, right? If I make a rule that applies to people, and then I don't follow that rule, not only do I not follow that rule, but I specifically violate that rule that I made myself. How the fuck is that not hypocritical?
Yeah.
How can you do that as a leader of the country? Yeah. Not only a leader of the country, but this is a person who could theoretically become the president if this whole shit show happens. Yeah. And not only that, but she doubles down in her defense after she's caught of it.
If you've noticed, anytime so like a Democrat or like some like real high level politician gets caught, they always double down. Yeah, for whatever reason,
it's the thing
always double down.
Trump's at the standard for that because he only doubles down for forever. But when Nancy was caught because the salon owner had a camera in there, which got her not only there, but also not wearing a mask while she was walking around in the salon. I think leaving the chair to go do something else. And, the salon owner posted it and, showed everybody. And I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, I forgot what her name is, but that woman is an absolute national fucking hero.
Yep.
Because she, dude, it took balls to do that, number one.
Listen,
to piss off Nancy Pelosi.
Her life is on the line now. Yeah. Her life is got a number to it now. I mean, there's definitely people watching her.
Yeah, think of it this way. Like, you just pissed off Nancy Pelosi and put her out there. Your business is within her district.
Yeah.
You know for sure now. The health inspector is going to come. The fire marshal. The fucking
fuck that. Have a riot in San Francisco, and all the blocks that they march down. That's one of them. Burn the fucking shop down.
That's a stretch. I don't know if Nancy coordinates. I mean, I'm sure you're going to think she does.
Would it not be shocking if in 2 weeks that she either like turned up dead or her salon got burnt down or her house got burnt down?
No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. But I don't know if Nancy's capable of that. I feel like that's more of up Hillary's wheelhouse, to make people disappear.
I guarantee you it's only a phone call away.
The thing is with this, not only did you were a hypocrite, all right, maybe you made a mistake and you didn't realize, maybe if you were Nancy, right, you didn't think that doing a one-on-one appointment in person was any problem with that, right?
Right.
Maybe.
Well, so I had mentioned this to you earlier, not to cut off your idea, but it'll work in. So funny enough, I always try to make sure we don't seem biased. And with talk of hypocrites, a picture came out of Governor Cuomo walking his dog in the city with no mask on.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He was in Albany. I don't know if that picture's real though. I tried doing some research and I couldn't figure it out.
I hate the guy. He's one of the biggest criminals in New York. New York will never be the same until he's gone. But I can't blame him. Like, especially if I thought he was in the city, especially if he's up in Albany. Like, okay, like I live in the suburbs. I walk my dog without a mask on. Like, I don't run into people when I'm walking. So I can't, you know what I mean? So like, just this way you're saying maybe Nancy's not thinking like, oh, it didn't matter if there was no one in there. I don't need a mask, whatever. Same thing like him. Like, it'd probably be the only time I'll ever defend him. Like, you're out there just walking your dog. Like,
I know what
you're not running into people.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You don't think it's a situation that you would need to theoretically.
Yeah, you're not walking your dog through a mall or the park. You're walking them down the block. Street. How many people do you run into?
He was, though. I mean, I don't know if that picture was real. I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't. But he was like on a commercial street, I don't think it's real because the fact that he was in a commercial street in downtown Albany walking his dog without a mask. I don't think even he's that stupid to do such a thing. That seems very like sloppy for him to do such a thing. But getting back to Nancy, the point I wanted to make was maybe you didn't realize what you were doing, how you were violating a rule you made. I'll be honest with you though, I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
You're Nancy Pelosi. You don't give a flying fuck about normal people. You just do whatever you think you can do because you're Nancy Pelosi and you have power.
Yeah.
And when it comes to normal people, they don't give a shit about us. Trump is the same way. I'm not just trying to point at Nancy Pelosi and Democrats only. Trump don't really give that much of a fuck about normal people either. But then Nancy goes and doubles down on TV, saying that she was set up and threatening legal action against the salon owner. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
What is so hard about... I'd have more respect for her if she said, listen, I just made a mistake. I didn't realize... one-on-one appointments were against the rules I made. Yeah, see how ridiculous this sounds? But you could just have said, listen, I fucked up. No, going forward, it won't happen again. No, that's it. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, and this is why I particularly love this story, because no matter which way they spin it, Nancy's at fault. She's 100% wrong in what she's doing, because now she's like, first off, this is the House. She's the Speaker of the House. Her husband is one of the most wealthiest and successful real estate moguls in the state of California. They live in a $25 million mansion. They're going after a salon, a single business salon owner. This woman's livelihood. The Speaker of the House is ready to rip this out from underneath her. Then on top of it, what do you call it? Fuck, she's going in. Oh, and so then if she was set up by the salon, if it was a setup, what does that say about the Speaker of the House? If a salon owner could set you up, what the fuck can Russia and China do to you? I posted that on the Instagram story.
Yeah. It's true.
If you got duped by some little woman in a little single small business,
right, China could fucking easily
China could run circles around you all day.
Confidential information out of you or something. Yeah. But why? This is a small business, right? This is a normal person, the woman who owns this business. Why are you going to now use your position? Like you said, Nancy Pelosi is
the Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House, and she's one of the richest people around. You're going to now use your position and your power, your influence to ruin a normal person's life. This goes beyond, like I said before, Nancy Pelosi and politics. This is elite, rich, wealthy, powerful people against normal people. Me and this guy were normal people. The owner of that salon is a normal person. Somebody else that I disagree with politically is also just a normal person, right? But Nancy Pelosi is
an elite,
a powerful person. She could just let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have suffered enough throughout this entire thing. That salon specifically has suffered enough throughout this entire thing. They've been closed for months.
Yeah.
And
where are they going to have the money to fight a legal battle?
Right.
It's
Think about
100%.
that. Think about that.
It's 100% win for Nancy
I heard
on
the
a
owner,
small business.
I heard the owner talking on. She went on Fox News and they interviewed her, and she said, I'm going to go out of business. I can't with this whole situation. I'm not going to survive. She was also thinking about leaving San Francisco and moving somewhere else where she can actually open up again. And now you mean to tell me you're going to we haven't been punished enough, you're going to go punish another random person. Just let it go. Have we not? What the fuck is the point?
Yeah. That's what 2020 brings. It's a dirty shit show now. You could actually people need to wake up and actually see the evil. And I'm not speaking like that Donald Trump's the shining knight or anything like that, the white knight at the in the darkness of all this, but the Speaker. How does nobody have a problem that the Speaker of the House is calling out a single individual to ruin their life?
Yeah.
And this is a voter. So that person is never voting Democratic, whether they did or they didn't, never voting Democratic.
Not only that, now they're going on Fox News and they're going to actively campaign against you.
Yeah.
You should be trying to win people to your side, not pushing people further apart.
I was thinking of this before. At this point, though, we still a lot of shit could happen before the election. But if you're police voting for a Democrat, you're basically voting to defund your own job. If you're a small business owner, if you're voting Democrat, you're voting to keep your businesses closed.
Basically,
you're pushing more people away than you're bringing in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's also part of the reason why Joe Biden recently decided to speak out against the violence and the riots and whatnot. 'Cause someone definitely got in his ear.
Yeah, and it was the polling was bad.
Yeah, it was like, listen, Joe, you got to say something about the craziness because this is a point that I made on a previous podcast. If you're out there protesting, God bless. Go fucking do your First Amendment right. But if you're out there and you're going to burn down a person's business or the recent new thing is people that are restaurants when you're on the sidewalk, you're going up to people and smashing the tables now and forcing them to kneel to you. You're only going to galvanize people against you. You're going to create people that are going to now vote for Trump that maybe they were going to vote for Biden and maybe they supported your movement. Maybe they hated Trump, and now they're like, what the fuck? I didn't have, I'm not racist. I had nothing to do with anything, and I supported Black Lives Matter. But then because I happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time at a restaurant, and a protest comes by, I get attacked, or the restaurant owners or the employees, the place gets fucked up, and now they lose their jobs. You're pushing people away. It's not a good strategy.
No.
On top of the fact, it's not civil.
And the best part is, it's not civil at all. But the best part is when Biden finally spoke out about it, this is Trump's fault. Just the amount of stuff that they say is, I would love to go back over the past 4 years and find every newspaper article that says Trump's fault. It's got to be a stack a mile high.
Well, everything that's happened.
But people need a brief, government for idiots. first off, if all of these protests were so peaceful, how is it that the riots are now Trump's fault? If the riots were Trump's fault, they would never have been calling them peaceful to begin with.
Right. So if they were peaceful, then isn't it because of Trump that they were peaceful?
Yeah. So if there was peaceful, the media continuously said peaceful protest, peaceful protest. Okay, but you've been if Trump is actually, behind all these riots and stuff, they would have never been calling them peaceful. So make up your mind. You're hypocrites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's not nothing. A lot of the shit going on in society nowadays is not based in like reality or fact. It's just me. It's everything's polarized. Yeah. Everything's tribal. It's just me versus you, and it doesn't matter if politics. It doesn't matter if I'm right or you're right or I'm wrong and you're right. You're against me, so everything I do is right and everything you do is wrong. Yeah. And same thing for you. Everything everything Trump does is right and everything the left does is wrong. And that's where we're at, and that is fucking sad, honestly.
That's what we try to stop. But like I was saying, like people need to like see like government for dummies. Like the president controls everything, yes, but then it's split down to the House. Really. Yeah, you're right. And then it's split down to the House and then the senators, and the senators for each state, and then it goes to the governor, and he takes over the state, and the mayor takes over the city, and then there's the local representatives. Yeah. How is Portland burning right now Trump's fault? It's first the mayor's fault, then the governor's fault, then the senator's fault. There's a whole
a break of power.
Yeah, there's a huge break of power for this to be Trump's fault across the board. You really mean to tell me it's Trump's fault, but several mayors and governors are not at fault at all?
Right. It makes no sense.
Thank you.
It's like I said,
it's literally how government works.
Yeah, it's just polarized identity, tribal nature of politics now. The actual reality of a situation does not matter. Yeah. It's just I am against you, and everything I say is right. Yeah. Everything you say is wrong. Everybody knew this question was going to come out of me, but if Trump got caught at a hair salon getting his fucking mop fixed up, they would try and impeach him. Getting his comb over fixed up. If they try to impeach him.
They're in there with a leaf blower.
Yeah, they would probably try and impeach him for that.
Where do you want to go? I chose the hypocrite stuff.
Let's talk a little bit about
every topic is hypocritical that we have tonight.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? And we're going to talk about it because that's our show.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what apparently Trump said about the military and the fallen soldiers. I think I spoke with you a little bit about this yesterday.
Yeah.
In case anybody's not aware. And an article came out in The Atlantic, which is like a online newspaper or something, saying that unnamed sources in the Trump administration said that when Trump was visiting France a few years ago, and they were going to a World War I cemetery, Trump was like, "Why should I go there? Those are they're losers. They lost." That basically saying that Trump said that dead soldiers were losers because they died and didn't, survive, win. Yeah. I don't know, dude. Trump's a douchebag, and he's a rich guy, and he could give a fuck less about people. I've heard him say really mean shit before to people. I don't know if he could have said something like that. That's just my opinion. I agree. He's a dumbass. He's mean and stuff, but would he say something like that? I don't know. He seems to be such a pro-military guy all the time. Yeah. People are also trying to spin John McCain and the way he treated John McCain into it. That's different, though. John McCain was like a political adversary in a way. He wasn't just some random soldier who gave... And first of all, John McCain didn't die, right? He was a POW. He was my hero. He's a hero to me, John McCain, right? In my opinion, he's an American fucking hero for everything he did. But he was a political adversary. So, of course, Trump is going to talk shit about him because that's the way Trump is. You can't spin Trump saying bad things as a way to, prove that he said fallen soldiers are losers.
Two of them have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, I don't honestly, my personal opinion is I don't believe it.
No, I really don't either. It's far-fetched. And then on top of it, didn't somebody tell us the source wants to remain anonymous?
Yeah, the sources are 100% anonymous.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So now we have anonymous sources. I also found out earlier today that I think Steve Jobs' wife she donated like $500,000 to Biden's campaign, but she's also like a 50% shareholder in the Atlantic. And now they're running this big negative piece against. I don't know if they're connected, whatever. But, but obviously, that news is donating to Biden's campaign. So of course they're spinning this anti-Trump.
I saw
story.
on Twitter, on Biden's Twitter earlier this morning. There's already like a whole political advertisement video about this situation, like cut up, done, quoting
Trump's.
You know what I mean? Like it was ready. I don't know. Maybe. When you have a major political campaign, you probably can turn around anything that happens real quick and make a video about it. You probably can, but I don't know. Let's put it this way.
Source,
just like how when in 2016 the grab him by the pussy video came out, that was all coordinated with Hillary and whatnot. They held on to that for the right time. They thought all this shit is not by by accident. It's very strategically orchestrated and whatnot. I personally don't believe it. I don't think Trump would say such a thing, especially when he is the commander-in-chief of the military. That's like a general saying that about his soldiers. It's just really fucked up. And I'm not saying Trump's not an asshole. He is. But this seems a bit much. And just to go a little bit deeper into it, I can't stand the anonymous sources.
Yeah.
How the fuck can you
How is it journalism?
How is it journalism? Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Cap, I have anonymous sources that Joe Biden fucked a 12-year-old girl last night.
It's real.
You know what I mean? His people in his campaign told me.
Yep, it's real. An anonymous source told us.
Anonymous sources told me last night. They texted me on my phone. They said that they work for the Biden campaign, and then your phone broke right now. Yeah.
Yeah, your phone broke. It's anonymous source. It's real now. We could post it on the Atlantic. We'll sell it to you guys.
Right. You see what I mean? You can't just do that.
No. Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's not real journalism, and it's just another example of how
it's cyberbullying.
It's cyberbullying. It's just another example of how like out of control politics has gotten.
It's mind numbing though to think like an anonymous source can just okay this message that could blow up like this. And nobody looks into figuring it out. Like, listen, if somebody from like Trump's administration or somebody that was close to Trump came out and like we knew he was on that trip, like came out and was like, I didn't want to do this, but I'm the anonymous source. Like, hear it. Okay, it's believable.
Right now, you have credence to your the story.
But that was also what I said to you last night too. Like, they try and just demonize Trump at every turn. Right? He's sexist, he's racist, he's this, he's that. Now he's anti-military. At this point where they pin so much shit on him, let's say he did say it. What's that? Like, what are we gonna do now? What are you gonna go vote for Joe Biden now? Like, is everybody just gonna go vote for him now?
Right. I see what you mean. I mean, I guess the strategy politically is to convince people who like Trump that are maybe in the military.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The military has a lot of people in it. So maybe people on the fence, it's the strategy is let's now show them, Trump hates the military or is like disrespectful towards the military, trying to get them to lean towards changing their mind, voting for Biden. That could be the strategy. I don't know. If you're a Trump guy like you, this is not going to fucking change your mind whatsoever.
No. There's very little
There's certain people. There's absolutely nothing that can happen or be said or be done that could change your mind. Same goes for a rabid Trump supporter. Same goes for a rabid Biden supporter. Which I don't really even think there are any of those. But there's like rabid left wing people. It's not even that there's any rabid Biden supporters. Just that people
rabid
hate
anti-Trump
Trump
people
so much. It's just we're just against him. It didn't matter if it was fucking the Crypt Keeper who was running against Trump. That's who they were going to vote for.
What was the guy that said? Who was the guy who said last night that like he was the first president in decades upon decades that didn't start a new war?
Yeah, I saw a tweet last night, and it said it's like Trump is crass, Trump is mean, he could be disrespectful, and he could be childish. It's like, but Trump is the first president in about 3 decades who hasn't started a war with anyone. And I mean, I sat there and thought about that for a minute, and I'm like, that's a pretty good point. Trump has taken some military actions here and there, but he hasn't necessarily started an actual conflict. If anything, he's tried to
end conflicts,
bring a couple of them to a close. He almost started a conflict with Iran, and
almost isn't.
He did those strikes against Syria, but that war in Syria was kind of already began by Obama.
Yeah.
Iraq was began by George Bush.
We went down a whole list.
We went on a list, before that, Clinton was involved in a whole bunch of shit. Somalia, I remember. The Bush before that was with the Gulf War.
Yep.
And then we.
This is decades of war. Decades of war.
America's been at war, sadly, for more than it's not been. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
How old is America now? 200 and something.
Yeah.
300 years old.
No, it's like two.
Some really patriotic people. I don't even know, but
we're patriots, not mathematicians.
Patriots. No, we've been at war for more years than we haven't been.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If making sure this country exists requires being at war forever. I don't think it does.
No,
but it's
because you got to think they're at war with like people from a third world country. Like we're intervening in other wars, and that's what's keeping us at war.
That is what makes me liberal, I guess you could say, right? The fact that we spend so many billions on the military, on technology, which Obama did, Bush did, Trump is now doing. It doesn't matter if it was a left-wing or a right-wing person. They all agree on bomb the fuck out of poor people, right? Go to war.
I sent you a picture today.
About Obama, I remember.
Yeah. Let me read that up. Hold on.
But I'd say my most strongest liberal principle is that I'm anti-war. I don't think we're a strong country. We don't need to drone bomb poor people in Pakistan or Afghanistan that
who can never make it over here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying those people can't be dangerous. They can, but if we just try to work with them and maybe not force them to buy into like our Western ways, I don't know, but we spend so much money on blowing up poor people instead of spending the money on maybe helping poor people or helping our own people. Wouldn't that be a better use of money? It's not like we're fucking bombing China, who has it out for us, or possibly Russia, who has it out for us. We're not directly fighting those people.
We're only fighting people that can't fight back.
Yeah,
we pick the easiest fights. They're not easy, but
it's not easy.
Men and women have lost, and
it's the military-industrial complex. You have to always be there. Has to always be a boogeyman. There has to be some sort of justification.
I think it's
why
all that
we spend so much.
That big BDE, big dick energy. Like you can't show if we were to show any weakness, even by like cutting the military budget by like $100 billion out of the $700 billion that's spent a year.
How do you justify such a budget if there's no enemies to fight? You know what I mean? That's why I always thought with ISIS, I felt like Trump did a good job. He kind of got rid of them. And up until then, I had the feeling that ISIS was not...
Obama created ISIS?
The situation created ISIS, right? But now it becomes where, like, we need a bad guy around. So we don't want to necessarily defeat them. We just want to beat them up. You know what I mean? We need weapons. We need to spend money to beat these guys up, but we can't beat them. Because if we do, then there'll be nothing for us to spend money on more weapons. We want to keep them down, but you never finish them off, right? Because if you finish them off, you can't justify spending $720 billion a year on the military.
We just kind of figured something out, too. There's been no new wars because we need a bad guy, right? Who's been the bad guy for the past 4 years?
Trump's a bad guy now,
yeah. So there you go. So that's how the establishment works, man. Whoever the boogeyman is, that's who they attack.
That's a good point. It's a good point. And I'm not saying Trump is the knight in shining armor.
No, he's not.
But I look at every situation, every politician's decisions, each thing they do, each stance they have individually, and I'll agree with them on a lot of like the military war decisions he's made. I don't agree with a lot of other shit, but that's one thing I agree with.
Yeah. I mean, and he's shut people up. Like, anytime he does something, it's World War III, World War III, World War III. World War III has not happened yet. It's been 4 years. He's bombed a few people. He's murdered a few people. No World War III.
And a lot of those things were in like response to something.
Yeah.
When they
and it was also acting on military intelligence.
Right?
Like, we found him. Can we kill him? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I know. Trump has changed strategy from the previous administration. Trump kind of told his generals and commanders in the field, like, you have autonomy to make the decisions without, like, if it's something major, then yes. But for the most part, I'm not a general. Trump is saying, right? You guys are in charge. You guys know what's best. Do what's best. Use your knowledge as best. You don't have to confer with him for every single decision. That was one thing I think makes sense, right? Yeah. Trump is a businessman. He's not a military tactical whatever. Yeah.
I believe there was I think Obama might have changed the rules of engagement and stuff, and it actually led to a lot of people, like a lot more people dying than like they needed to. Where like if they had more free reign, they could have pick and chose like what Trump allows them. But I think like this new rules of engagement like fucked them over.
Yeah, yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, you know, I mean, and on top of that, it's not like we shouldn't even be there.
No,
for the most part, you know,
no.
We haven't. It's been
we spoke about this. Oh man.
Let me just say that right now, the fear thing is coronavirus and that black lives don't matter and that police are going to kill you if you're black. Yeah. That's the fear thing that the media, the politicians are like harping on. Yeah, and I'm not saying that either of those things are not true or that they're not dangerous. Yes, black people have been, systemically fucked over, and the coronavirus is a real thing. But what happened to Al-Qaeda? What happened to ISIS? How come there's no more Islamic militant threat that we've heard of? It's been months. I honestly, it might even be a year since I've heard of any sort of fear-mongering over, like...
At the beginning of the year, when they killed that terrorist.
So is that not a threat anymore? I guess not. Yeah. There's been no terrorist attack.
We're at peace. We're at peace across the world, except for in America.
I mean, I guess ISIS is following coronavirus CDC guidelines, and they can't... they have to social distance, so they can't walk into a market and blow themselves up because they're risking.
Nobody's in the market to blow up now.
That's maybe that's why, but no, it's just they overblow everything. Yeah, they overblow everything.
You know what's funny is that I feel at this point now the media lies so much that everything is just so twisted and turned and spun that when people tell you the truth, you're like flabbergasted. You're like no, you must like.
People don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah, the truth must. The truth sounds like lying now. Almost.
It does. It almost does. It almost does. People will get mad at you for saying the truth. And I have for whatever.
We on your Facebook, you had that fight with people. It was a video about Joe Biden clearly making children feel uncomfortable by sniffing and touching them and rubbing them and all this weird shit, and people like defended him, and I'm just like. And it's always Trump this, Trump. Take Trump out of it. Look at these children's faces. Right now, if these actions aren't questionable to you, then you're questionable to me. Just physically look at the video at hand. Don't bring anyone in it who's not in it. And if you could look at that and go, "There's nothing wrong," then fine. Then I question you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. If you're so tribalized that you can't look at a video like that, and I'm not saying you have to even believe it, right? But at least have a question instead of just automatically dismissing it and taking side. That's
super fake to me. Just be real. Just admit that there's something weird here. Yeah. Admit it, that these kids are uncomfortable. I don't care that you hate Trump. I don't care that you're still going to vote for Biden. Admit that this video is weird.
Right. It should concern you.
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah.
Because if you don't, then that means you're fine with Joe Biden doing this to kids and you're still going to vote for him because you hate. Imagine hating Trump so much that this old man can make these kids feel seriously uncomfortable.
Right.
And you're condoning it.
And I'm not even saying that you can't look at the video and be like, I don't know, he's like a grandpa or something.
It's not
But
cute.
like, at least think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People don't even fucking think about it. They don't. They just, Joe Biden, I'm on his side. That's it. Doesn't matter. He could fuck a kid right in the ass. And I'm on his side. It doesn't matter to me because he's not Trump. Just think about it. That's it.
Like, I'm not even just because you were going to say that this video is questionable doesn't mean I'm going to be like, I told you, you're a Trump supporter. You're a Trump supporter. No. Admit it.
That's what people did to me.
Yeah.
That's what people were I don't think anybody called me a Trump supporter, but like that's what people were like inferring. I'm like, no, I'm not at all. I'm like, this is a fucking concern I have about this guy. I don't want either of these two guys. In my opinion, like my stance right now to this day is I don't want either of these guys to be president. I think we could do better. Right? That is my stance. I don't know who I'm going to vote for still to this day. It's going to be like the most toughest decision I've ever made in terms of voting for president. I know you're a slam dunk.
Trump's going to have to end up like with videos off of Epstein's Island for me not to vote for him.
I'm just saying, me pointing out a flaw of one of the guys doesn't mean I support the other guy. But that's where we're at now in society. You can't do anything without people making an assumption on you.
But at least you could call it what it is, like a weird fucking questionable video. Like that's what drives me so nuts. Like, and like right away, like they watch this video about, you know, Biden touching kids, and then like the main response is like, Trump had a relationship with Epstein. Okay, but this is a video of Biden. Right. Trump had a relationship with Epstein. Very good. Yes.
Okay. And then what if you want to use that? Then what about Bill Clinton's relationship with Epstein?
Yeah. What about his well documented relationship with Epstein?
Which we have well documented in previous episodes ourselves. It's just it's so
hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy, you know, and it's just so exhausting. This is where we're at, dude. I'd like to just have, and there are good people out there that you can have a rational conversation with, but like the masses, like the Twitterverse, the Twitter world, or the Facebook comments, they're a fucking shit show of just idiots. And how much of that shit is even real? Like how many of those things are bots just aimed at instigating us and making us fight with each other? So like a bot will say something stupid, and then you'll go and comment it, and then some other real person will fire back at you.
Well, not even bots. There's that whole rumor of people getting paid to protest. How easy would it be to get paid to just write left-wing or right-wing fucking comments?
Not even that. Just like you just look to piss people off. You know what I mean? That's fucking really
plenty
easy.
Of people
I could do
there.
that for fun if I wanted to. Like
have done it for fun.
Even if I wrote shit that I didn't even believe in, I'd figure. You know, it's easy to figure out by the way you could look at someone's Facebook profile and kind of like determine where they fall.
Yeah, where they're gonna get pissed off.
Yeah, and it's easy.
I know it's been a rough week.
It's been a rough year.
Yeah. Level 9.
We're on level 9. Yeah.
Level 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's
we just were talking about your level 9. Here's my level 9. Yeah.
And level 10 is to come. I'm nervous about level 10 because that's when hunting season starts. And like I said, what's October level 10 going to bring us? You know, October 1st, all the deer are going to drop dead, or they're just all going to drop dead. The moment of. Let's switch gears here.
Okay.
And I think I picked the last one. So what do you? What's the next thing you want to talk about?
I would like to talk about that kid, Kyle.
Yes, that was what I was going to choose.
Yeah. So what's his last name?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse?
I think it's Rittenhouse.
Okay. So this was a 17-year-old in Wisconsin who, yes, I agree, he's a little bit young, but when the Jacob Blake riots started to break out, he volunteered and spent the day cleaning graffiti.
I don't think he volunteered. Well, okay, yeah. Sorry.
He volunteered cleaning graffiti off of storefront windows for the day, and then business owners were hiring people to guard their storefronts. In Wisconsin, the gun laws are very different than they are in New York, New Jersey, California, and places like that. So he was in his legal right. I did hear he was from outside of Wisconsin. I don't know 100%.
He was. He's from Illinois. And let me interject that a lot of people have been using that as a reason, saying that he was out there for no good. He crossed state lines coming from far away to get into Wisconsin. He's from 30 minutes away from Kenosha, right? He lives closer to Kenosha than I do to the Bronx. You know what I mean?
He lives closer to Kenosha than I do to you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's right around the corner, basically. Yeah. It's his community for the most part.
Job
because he's over state lines doesn't mean it's not part of your community.
My job is 30 minutes over state line.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, he was hired by a business owner to do armed security to make sure nothing would happen to this guy's business. That's why he was out there. He was not out there looking to shoot or kill anyone. He was out there to run security. And rioters came down the street. This is I will call him a man with a assault rifle standing at a storefront window. Why anybody picks a fight with this kid, beyond me. Beyond me. But fight broke out, rioters. He got separated from the store, and they attacked him and hit him in the head with a skateboard. Turned around, blasted the guy. Then another guy showed up with a pistol, blasted that guy. The guy with the pistol was a felon. Mm-hmm. He shot 3 people, right? Yeah.
3.
And then someone came charging at him and chased him through a parking lot with a Molotov cocktail intent on setting him on fire. Threw it at him, missed, turned around, shot that guy.
That's not even the full story for that one.
Really?
In that one, yes. Okay, so first of all, Kyle, let me be clear. Kyle wasn't running around just shooting people.
No, he was securing a
At
building.
all three instances where him.
Oh, I thought this was one after another.
It was, right?
Okay.
Because after he shot the first person, people started chasing him, right? So it's not like he just went on a murdering spree, just targeting random people with no thought. But let's get back to that third
with a
shooting.
Molotov cocktail.
The person threw. I don't know if it was a Molotov cocktail specifically, or if it was like something just on fire. Threw it at him, and he continued to run away. He didn't shoot the guy as soon as it was thrown at him. He continued to run away, and he ran basically into like a corner in this parking lot, and he was cornered. He had nowhere to go. The guy kept running up to him and tried to take the gun out of his hands. In that situation, I don't care if you're liberal, Republican, Joe Biden, Trump, whoever. You have a gun, and a guy who is already just threw
insanely angry,
has threw a flaming thing at you, is trying to take your gun out of your hand. What do you think that guy is going to do with that gun if he gets it away from you? He's going to turn it on you and kill you. So should you just have allowed yourself to die?
Yeah.
Or, just lay down and die?
And this is where I draw the hard line. Black Lives Matter, do matter. I understand the reason for protesting. I hope there's social justice. There does need to be some type of reform with the police. Do I think the media is abusing the police and they're taking advantage of the police? 100%. But I will draw the line on anything, anywhere. The second you try to convince me you're not allowed to defend yourself. If you think police officers aren't allowed to defend themselves, wrong. If you think people aren't allowed to defend themselves, wrong. I don't care. There's no valid argument that you could ever lay in front of me to say you shouldn't defend yourself.
Right, you should just allow yourself to be that. And there's a lot of shit out there on this kid saying that he's a terrorist, he's a white nationalist.
Yeah.
No. He wasn't, right?
He's only being called a white nationalist because it fits the fun narrative the media likes to push.
Wasn't. He's not there to be a white nationalist. He was there because he was being paid to provide security for his store, and he shouldn't have been there, first of all, right? He was 17.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so shouldn't the people that were there looking to cause trouble shouldn't have been there either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people who should have been there are people who wanted to
fuck
protest.
Shit up?
No, I'm saying the people who should have been there are people that wanted to protest, saying what happened to Jacob Blake was wrong. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're there looking to attack a kid who's with your skateboard, or possibly shoot him with your sidearm, how the fuck? If I was that kid, I would have also defended myself. The second guy, he didn't attack those first two. Let's go to each situation, right? The first situation, he was running away from the fight that had happened, right? And this is exactly what happened. He was running away and he tripped and fell, right? When he tripped and fell, the guy with the skateboard, you could hear in the video, like, get his ass, right? And the guy with the skateboard runs up on him and starts going to hit him with the skateboard. These people are going to probably kill you, right? So he defends himself and shoots the guy.
There's the video of the bodega owner in the city who got beat with the skateboard. The guy's head was swollen out to here.
Right.
So a skateboard, you lay somebody out with it.
Yeah. Don't forget that if you have a gun and someone's beating you, they could take the gun and turn it on you and kill you. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have the right to defend yourself.
And on top of that, even if they got that gun away from you and knocked you out cold with the skateboard, now they have your gun running through the streets, and anybody that they don't like, they're going to open fire on.
Right. He wasn't the one chasing people and then hitting them with his gun and then firing at them while they were falling on the ground. He was in a defensive position. Yep. He was running away. He was trying to get away. He wasn't there being the aggressor. When people were being the aggressor on top of him, he defended himself. Let's be clear, though, right? He shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And he should definitely get in trouble because, number one, he's too young to be carrying. He's 17.
I don't know if it was.
He is. I shared you that video of Cologne Noir's explanation. Cologne Noir is a fucking lawyer. He knows everything. There's stipulations maybe of how he could theoretically possibly be there with a gun legally. It's a stretch, right? And the laws that they're talking about are like a hunting law. Yeah. He's not there to hunt. No. You know what I mean? So he should get in trouble, right? But he should get in trouble for underage carry and bringing a firearm
not murder
across
1
state
and 2
lines. However, it doesn't matter if you broke the law. If I go, you can't carry in New York City, right? If I brought my gun, this gun or whatever other gun I have, into New York City illegally, right? I broke the law. But if someone pulls out a gun on me and I shoot them and kill them, I did not commit murder.
No.
You know what I mean? I defended myself. You can book me for having a gun and
put you away for 5 years, but not murder.
But not murder, no, because I wasn't the aggressor in the situation, and it doesn't matter that I shouldn't have had a gun. You, without a doubt, have the right to defend yourself by the Constitution.
Yeah,
you know, so
and
he should get in trouble for the gun, but not for he should not be charged with murder.
No, and for more hypocrisy, the second guy he shot had a gun. The dude he shot in the arm, right through the forearm, had a gun. And I'm pretty sure the guy had past felonies and shouldn't have been allowed to have a gun.
Right.
So here is somebody who is breaking gun. Okay, well, two people breaking gun laws, I guess, if we're being fair. Yeah. But at least Kyle isn't a felon. He might have broke the laws by carrying in a state underage. But here's a guy who is protesting.
The guy's out looking for trouble.
Yeah, he was 100% out looking for trouble, rioting and burning fucking buildings down. And you're carrying a pistol. And you drew it on a kid, and you're surprised he shot you.
A kid who was down on the ground, too.
This is the same scenario like when people block the highway and someone gets ran over by a fucking pickup truck. Shocking. Here's this guy who worked all day long, just wants to go home, and now your liberal ass is in front of him because of something he has nothing to do with, and you're causing all the... And then you get ran, and they're outraged. No shit, you're in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
So now here's somebody coming up to you. So I come up to you with a gun. I'm looking to do bad. You have a gun. Shit or get off the pod. It's either you or them. Who are you going to pick? Who? I saw a great meme. Hold on. If a 17-year-old could do this to 3 rioters in a heated moment, if a civil war was really to break out, what do you think 5 or 6 Army vets, well-armed Army vets, would do to the rest of these people?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to such a thing. But you know what? There's a point there.
Yeah.
You know, if you are gonna go around and burn down people's businesses and attack people for no reason because they disagree with you politically or whatever, if you're gonna instigate violence, don't be surprised when people start to cause violence back towards you. I can't walk up to someone and sucker punch them, and then when they fight back, be outraged that they fought back. That's basically what's happening, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to go, I've said before, you shouldn't be burning shit down. You shouldn't be creating violence. But if you're going to, be prepared that people are going to eventually start fighting back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It has to.
Both sides are wrong. Like, the whole situation sucks. I don't want that to happen. But that's the natural progression of things. And that's how you get into a civil war, dude, because people are going to have enough.
Yeah, listen, you want to defund the police? You hate the fucking police? You don't want cops in your neighborhood? Guess what's next on the list, okay? People showing up to work with their fucking guns, and you kick that door in, you got to be ready. If you got the balls to kick the door in, you better have the balls to fight whatever's behind that door. Yeah. You know what I mean?
With the whole Kyle situation, too, if I'm going to be critical about police in that situation, one thing that's weird about that whole thing is the cops weren't, I guess, checking. Like, there's guys walking around with ARs.
They're defunded. What do they give a fuck anymore?
I know. I guess that's why, right? I guess they weren't checking people because they feel like everybody's against them, and these guys are here just to do security. But like,
so remember back at the beginning of the summer, right before we went to Myrtle Beach when the riots first started. So remember there was like the videos of all the guys showing up on like Dykeman Street with like baseball bats and stuff, and then like there was the people in Virginia lining the streets with the guns. The police let them get away with that because they were there on the police sides. Like when all those dudes showed up to Dykeman with bats,
they were there to help,
and they were like, "Yo, police, we're one right now. Like we just don't want our streets to get like fucked up." Like that's probably why they let them go through.
Yeah,
but I mean that is. Wisconsin's different. We live, Connecticut, New York, so Wisconsin's definitely different.
That's true.
So
it's
for
more
us
gung-ho.
us to think somebody walking down the sidewalk with an AR, that's like crazy for us. You know what I mean?
That is a good point. But I see what you mean. Yeah. I guess I'm sure maybe some sort of conversations have to take place, and the cops know these guys are here to provide security. Theoretically, they're kind of on our side to help maintain order. So I guess maybe they cut them some slack, but they really shouldn't. They should be at least checking for permits and whatnot.
At that moment, too, you got to think
it's a messy situation.
This all just started because a cop shot somebody. You know what I mean? Like the cops can't even get involved at a certain point.
Yeah, I do think the cops definitely withdraw themselves from a lot of
they
these
have
situations because, like, it's a lose-lose, you know?
If you show up to a riot and you just start bashing heads in and it makes it to the CNN, like, you're screwed all over again.
You're the bad guy again.
Yeah. And on top of it, not Trump, because it's not Trump's fault. We got to go through government for dummies. When the mayor tells the police to hold back, like de Blasio did, like they did in Seattle, to the point that the first black female chief of police had to retire early because she was so destined to lose the way they were running things. The governor and the mayor did this shit. The mayor literally sends out an order to hold back police, literally opening up the floodgates to allow this criminal activity to go through. Right. Not Trump, the governor.
Right, that's a local.
Sorry, the mayor.
That's a local decision, not a Trump decision. And then let's be clear of something else we were recently talking about. Trump did offer to every city that had these problems, I will send federal help. I'll send the National Guard. I'll send Department of Homeland Security to help bolster your police departments. Right? He did offer that, but they cried wolf. Oh, he's a fascist. He's trying to take over. He's trying to put stop people's freedom of speech. But now they're saying that this is his fault, that he didn't do anything about it. Hold on. He offered, I don't, dude, for what, you know what?
And if he doesn't offer it and just orders it, then he's a fascist dictator who's just marching in on these towns.
Dude, this show, I'm supposed to be the liberal, right? But I find myself defending Trump so much on this fucking show because, and I have a really crazy Trump friend, and we had a conversation lately, and I'm like, dude, I'm still very liberal, but the shit that's going on lately is not liberal conservative. It's craziness and other craziness. So what I was saying is, if a man offers you help and you say no, and then something bad happens, you can't blame that man for the bad thing that happened.
And the offer's still on the table.
Right. I don't understand what else. What the fuck? It just goes back to what we were saying before. It's because you're on the other team and I'm on this team. It doesn't matter what you do. You're just always wrong. You're always wrong.
And then so that's very hypocritical of them. And then to even deepen the hypocrisy, okay, the what was it? The governor or mayor of either Portland or Seattle, they protested outside of his $800,000 condo, and now he's moving.
More elitists.
Yep. And then Miss Littlefoot or Lightfoot, whatever,
Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago,
Uncle Fester's wife over there. I don't care that she's a black woman. She's one of the weirdest looking people I've ever seen in my life.
Whatever. But anyway, the point you're trying to make is that
she made it like a mandate that you're not allowed to protest on the block that she lives on. She has the right to protect her home, but no one else in the state has the right to protect their home.
It's hypocrisy. It's more hypocrisy.
New York had a meeting. They had a meeting to talk about the plan to reopening restaurants in New York, and the result of the meeting was that we have no plan. What did you meet for then?
Right?
How can you tell me?
It's all for show.
Yeah,
they had no intention to make a plan. They went there for show to try to like abate people's anger.
I mean, think of how many restaurants are in the 5 boroughs. You know what I mean? Like, think of the countless restaurants that are hemorrhaging money. You think they're going to vote for Biden?
No, they're not. They're right. You've like galvanized them, like I've said before, against you now.
Yeah, the entire NYPD and all the restaurants. That's got to be a couple of million people.
That's why I don't believe these polls, right? That are saying Biden's ahead. First of all, the media is creating these polls, and they are the fucking root of all the problems we have, right? So that's number one. Number two, there's so many people that are doing this to normal people that maybe are on the fence, or maybe, are for Biden, but now you just went and burned down their building. Now I'm going to go support.
You went out to a nice dinner, and BLM flipped your table and threw you off your chair and chased you out of the restaurant.
Right. Maybe you will still vote for Biden. Maybe there's some people that will say, this doesn't have anything to do with Joe. You know what I mean? But most people, let's be fucking real here. Most people are going to say, fuck that. I'm going to vote for Trump now because this is bullshit and I don't want this type of thing to continue. That's probably the mentality that most people are going to have.
Yeah, I can't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And especially Joe Biden's he's still hiding in his basement. You can't hold on to this following COVID guidelines forever.
He's come out a little bit more recently.
Yeah, because he has to.
Yeah, it's working.
Everybody, that whole sleepy Joe Biden hiding in his basement,
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden. That shit's nationwide now, and You know what I mean? Like it's come about, and he has to. And apparently, the first debate is September 28th. And boy,
yeah, I feel like it is going to happen. Like we're getting close now, and it's going to happen.
He has to come out, man.
He can't. I feel like without a doubt, they had the strategy to make him not debate Trump.
Yeah.
But as we've gotten closer to when these debates have to happen, they realize, fuck, we can't do that because that's
even
the
backfire. Democrats don't.
They're that's going to backfire big time if they don't.
And
especially because Trump came out with the Joe Biden nickname already,
and it catched on too. They sort of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris flag. And once these debates happen too, he's gonna have to talk policy because people are gonna realize that. Because
I don't think so, bro.
I've
neither of them talk policy anymore.
I understand, but I've seen a lot of people on both sides of the fence. Like even like we posted that Joe Rogan video, and it's so true what he said. Like, we get it. Orange Man is bad. We know there's riots. We know there's COVID. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? Like,
right. Literally, what are you gonna do?
We can find things that we could agree on, and I think that would. I think if they could find even Hillary and Trump had like one or two little plateaus where they agreed and they had like the
Bernie
same
and
view.
Trump had many areas where they agreed. They wouldn't say that they did, but they did.
No, but you need to like. I think right now more than ever, if they could at least be like, oh yeah, I agree on that too. Like, like I think that would like calm something down. Mm-hmm. That would help Joe Biden, if anything.
I agree. Yeah. That's why I posted that clip of what Joe Rogan said.
Yeah.
Because it struck me. It was, he said, why are we always, I guess this is human nature. He's like, why are we always like harping on the negative? It's like, why don't we start with what do we agree on, right? And let's go from there. And let's have conversations and figure out the things we agree on. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you work together on something you agree on, you have a conversation like me and you do, right? And then you realize, all right, this is not that bad of a person that I thought they were, and we could make progress on this other thing that we don't agree on, or we could at least bring it to the table now because we've worked on something already.
And the reason it's not happening is because everybody's so polarized, and nobody has policy to talk about anymore.
Back in the day,
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, back in the day, that's what happened. Like back in the day, you
told me with the vice president, right?
Oh, that was really back in the day.
Okay,
really
like
far back in the day. Fun fact, Snapple fact here. Really far back in the day, like George Washington ages, when you won the presidency, the person who lost was your vice president. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a great fucking idea. Yeah. Maybe that's what we should. That's the only way maybe we're going to get out of it.
I think it would start assassinations, but yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Maybe, right? Because then, and then you could say the person who won don't have to listen to the vice president. Yeah, you're right. He don't. But he's still there. Yeah. He's still going to be in the room. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Your party's represented.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? I just don't get it. Why the fucking division? Why? Because we can't have it. You can't have it.
United we're strong, divided we're weak. It's what I mean. And for
I think it's out of control. Like,
well, yeah, because tinfoil hat time. The fucking establishment, the way the New World Order has no intention to keep America the way it is. New World Order wants complete control of the world, and the more divided we are, the weaker we are. Trump. Before this really got bad, not that Trump was unifying us, and I know there's statistics to argue my fact, but unemployment was low, jobs were up, money coming back to America, like America was doing good. Like even though we weren't unified, we weren't where we are today. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what I think happened? Remember how when we were discussing people's history in the United States, and the book pointed to evidence of over the years since the foundation of the country, there's been a concerted effort by people in power to keep the masses divided because it's easier to maintain your power, easier to maintain your wealth, and etc. when average Joe and average Joe hate each other.
Yep.
And Republicans and Democrats shook hands on this deal, right? It worked for many years. Recently, this is just my opinion. Recently, this got so out of control because of like social media.
Well, no, Trump's the outsider.
I'm just saying like that we agree to keep people divided.
Yeah.
It's almost like a virus, right?
Yeah.
And it has infected even the people who used to agree on keeping people divided.
Yeah.
Like Republicans and Democrats one thing they used to be able to agree on was let's keep the regular people divided. Now the divisiveness has affected them.
Yeah. They can't even agree on how to keep us divided.
Right. Yeah. However, I will say that the only thing they do agree on is spending money on the military and war. Yep. One thing that just goes right, beyond everything, always goes through. The only person who votes against it's Bernie. Is spending mad money. So they do. Maybe I'm
Isn't
wrong.
it amazing how like
war they agree.
that government part of government is?
They're a well-oiled machine when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Whoa, man.
There's a lot of hypocrites out there. Yeah.
What a year.
And well, people level 9. We will fight it together. Yep. I've been saying, a couple of people have been trying to make plans for the end of November and into December with Christmas parties and Thanksgiving parties and Friendsgiving. And I'm like, yeah, well, by Thanksgiving, we might be on the front lines of the resistance, taking back Lower Manhattan.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's before we start making any plans, let's see what happens.
So, 2020, you're still undefeated. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, buddy. We're about an hour and 5 minutes in, so go for it.
All right, 2020. Thank you guys for listening. Doom Nation, we appreciate you all the time. We love that more people have been commenting us and sending us messages and emails. Please keep that up. Our email is at twodoomedmen@gmail.com. As always, like, share, and subscribe. You can hear us on Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the new Amazon podcast, and you can find us on social media on Facebook and YouTube, and Twitter is @TwoDoomedMen, and Instagram is @TwoDoomedMen_podcast. Thank you guys. Like and share. Adios.
Later.
Cheers.